Hey everyone. In the today video, I will show you how to actually use a parameter inside the API URL, because this was asked a lot in the community. And it's very simple actually. You only need these brackets, and then I will show you with a new request. So if I copy and paste this here. So first of all, of course, you have to go to apicos and then create a new apico. It doesn't matter what would be the type of it. So it could be any type. We can just put it to be put for whatever reason. And then we can just say this is a PipeDream request to test variable inside a row. So we can test it like this. And for example, this could be like a user ID, and then for example you can have users, and this could be the user ID. So how do you get that? You need to have the same, of course you need to have the same variable over here. So it should be user ID. This could be a string, could be an integer. It depends on your API, but let's say based on your API, based on your API on that your database. But let's say, okay, I want it to be an integer. My save value will be 0, because if I have a 0, probably I will not have any user with the variable 0, so I will not get any result from it. So when you go to the body, if we have a put over here, then we can get the JSON data, and then we can say this could be user ID, and then we have to drag this over here. This is one way of doing it. I think if you just write it like that, basically the same thing. So you can see it, you can also write it like that, and it's the same thing. So how you can check if there is an error inside your JSON setup over here? If you click format and nothing is happening, so I'll show you. If you have it like this and you click format, it should format it the right way. But if you actually you didn't write something here that was correct, for example, if I put a comma over here, this will be not a valid JSON. And if I click format, it's telling me in which line it is. So in this case, it's line 3. So you have to get -1 line. So it's it's line actually number 2 in my case. And I have to delete this one and then format it again, and the error will be gone. So if I click, for example, if I made a mistake over here, click format again on line 1, remove it and click on format. Okay, so if I add this API code right now, and I want to show you guys how you can actually test this without needing to mess with your API. So I just found this website like 5 minutes ago, PipeDream.com. It's a great app. It's a great website to actually test your API. So if you register and go to workflows, new workflow, and we'll need the HTTP web, what was it the name? HTTP webhook, yeah. And then we need HTTP API request, and then save and continue. This will be the URL that you will use. So we can copy and paste it over here. Yes, we can save it. And then we can click on create test event, and it will automatically create this for me, so it will just send the thing that we will do is just send a test request with the post method for this arrow, and this will be the requested body. So if I send this, it will check if it's everything is okay, and it's just checked and it says yes, everything is okay. And then you can see that it's post, you can see where it's send it from, and then click on continue. And now we have created our undefined workflow. So we can actually deploy it right now. So deploy it, and we're done. So if we go to workflows, this is our unnamed workflow. I don't know why it's unnamed, but yeah, whatever. And then here we can actually say so when we are inside here, so when we are inside the web workflow, we can actually start and send requests. So you can see over here, if I go over here, I can just send a demo request. So let's say, let's send a demo request, and you get a no. Why we're getting a no? Because we'll probably put it as a post. It's not probably, it's not that. Oh yeah, we're getting a no because we don't actually we don't have actually a response something, so we don't have a response. So this is actually, you can see it's actually working because you can see that this is the request that was sent. In this case it's put, in this case it's post, and we can do it get as well, and post. So we can get it get, save, test, and you can see it's right now it's get. And if we go over to code definition, we will use it post right now in this case, and then we need a variable. So here the variable will be like 55, for example. We want the user ID with 55, and then we say send API, and now you can see here that indeed this is working because the arrow that we're sending this request, it's pipeline.net/user/55. So if we go over here, you can see that it's user ID, and then if we change this to whatever number, 5566, send it again, and then you can see it's 5566. It's not, as I said, it's not returning anything because we don't return anything, but we can actually return something. And now I can show you how you can return something. Okay, so if you want to return something, in this step over here, after we test it if everything is okay, we can return something user, for example, the Node.js code, and we can use this structure in order to return something. We can actually change the code after that, but this is how you return something. So if I send one more time the request, in this case it is not returning anything because I need to change the code, of course. But if you go over here, and then this is the code, this is the code actually that we need to change. I can just grab the code that I'm already using. Actually is the predefined code. I just change it a little bit. But if we actually get this code from here, which, as I said, is a predefined code, I didn't write it, I just changed it a little bit. And then if we go over here, and then we want to edit the code that is, because this is the trigger, this is the event that we sent, and this is the response. So if I go over here and change the response and click on test, and now if I send a response over here, test it, and okay, so let's delete that. Let's try that one more time real quickly. So when you add the new workflow and you want a response, actually, you can add it with HTTP. It should be an HTTP, and then here actually you need the full HTTP request, and you need to return a custom response from your workflow. So when you save that and continue, this is the error that you're getting. Let's test it if this is actually will work. And now we're testing it, and indeed it's working. And then we need to add the code over here. So if I click over here and then return the HTTP response, if I click over here, this will actually be the code. So in this case, it will just return hello world. So if I deploy it, and if I go back to FlutterFlow, okay, so this is the code we need in order to return something. But in my case, I'm returning 3 items because I'll show you after that the infinity scroller how it's working. So that's why I'm returning 3 items. But you can actually return. You can actually change this code from over here, and you can actually return only 1 item. So if I just let me just copy and paste this, because I'll just go I'll just make it the same again, returning 3 items. As I will need that after that. So if I click test, it's just waiting for to send a response right now. So it just send a response and just click on deploy, and now the code is changed. So if I click over here inside FlutterFlow and click test app, you can see actually that it's right now it's returning. So if I click over here, don't remember to copy the arrow, because if you change the arrow, you need to copy it and then paste it over here, and then save, test again, and you can see it's returning only 1 result as I did. If I want to return more results, because right now I need more than 1 JSON result, I can just say return the same one and return the same one again, and test it again and deploy. Again, this is only for testing. I will use only for testing, but you can use for a lot of different things. But I really like how you can send this and you can actually see it in real time, how it's receiving by the PipeDream website. So if I delete all those requests, and then I send a new one, it's taking a little bit time. But yeah, you can see over here, and the value is 566. So if I go over here to the website, and then if I create a new page over here, let's just create a new page. So if I create a new page, so I want to test, so test API call with variable inside. And this one, I want actually, if I click the page title, I want to navigate to this page. So navigate to this page over here. And then when I'm in this page, I just want to have a container. It doesn't really matter, or it could be just without anything. and I can just go over here and then say apico and just save the test with the variables inside the URL. So when I go over here and use the URL ID, you can actually test this and get it from a specific value, or you can get it from a value, whatever it is in your FlutterFlow. In this case, I'll take it from specific value. So my specific value will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can confirm this and I can run it. So I'll pause it a little bit. Okay. So this is the page. It's loading. We'll talk about this, about the infinity scroller after a bit. But basically, this is the page. This is the first page. And when I click over here, I should be able to see here my new request. So I'm clicking here, waiting a little, and you can see immediately my new request over here. And you can see the value. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's getting the value from over here. So you can see that this is actually working. And one more thing before we go. Last time I did a video of infinite scroller. So with using an API, and you can actually check that if you haven't already. But let me go through real quickly through the basic setup. You just need an API call. We'll use the PipeDream again to just test it out. And then we have, for example, a coin ID. Like last example, I used the coin database, Bitcoin data, not Bitcoin, but crypto coins database. And then there was actually we used the page, and we used the next page number. So when you enable infinity scroll, you actually get access to the next page number, to the number of loaded items, and the last response. So there was a question, what are those actually returning? So if I go to workflow and go to request bin, delete this one over here, and then we can test it out. Like we can test it out with PipeDream, and we can set it up like this. So page, we have the next page number, offset, we have the number of loaded items. Probably offset is not the right word for it, but this will return the number of loaded items, which is important. And then you need the last call, which will be it will actually return because if I click over here, you can actually use last response, which is coming again from over here, last response. And this will actually give you the last response of the API request that you did. So, and of course, you need to generate children from variables. Response item will be the name of the variable item, the individual variable item. And then here you just use the JSON path, and then just a $sign in my case. Probably in your case, it will be something else. Last time it was $coins, for example. And then if I go over here to API calls, this is my API call, and you have the variables over here, which will be the page, offset, last call, and then the body will be the same. Coin, page, offset, last page will be equal to last call. But we can actually change this to last call, and it should still work. And don't forget to just click format, because if you have some error, as I said, it will just give you an error, and you know that this will not work. So if I save this right now and I want to test it out. So in order to test this out, I'll just hit refresh over here. It will load my main page, and inside my main page, there will be this infinity scroller, and it will load a bunch of because in theory this should happen. So this is loading over here, and you can see all the API calls. So it's loaded like 5 API requests, and you can see the dates and the seconds of them. So if I click the first one, again, you can get the variable. So I'm mixing this. I have the variable inside the arrow of my request, and also I'm mixing it up, and I'm also having infinity scroller. So when I go to body, and this is my coin, so over here, so this one is the same as the arrow in my example, and then we have last page. So first time when you load this, because this is the first request, when you load this, this will be empty. So this will return an empty JSON object. Then you have the offset. This will be actually the number of the items that you already loaded from the infinity scroller, and this, as the first time, it will be 0. The page, it's always starting from 0, so it will be 0. And then this is actually loading, as you can see over here, it's loading 3 things. And when you click on the body, you can also actually see it's loading, all the 3 things are the same. In my case, it's loading the about, which is just saying about this PipeDream, and then deployment ID, and so on and so forth. And then if I go to the second one, you can see that things change in the second one. So when I go to the second one, you can see that last page right now is the last, this is not the last page, but this is the last request. So this is the last request, and this is array of JSON objects. In this case, there are 3 JSON objects. In case if you need this data, you can get it from here. Then you have the offset, which is 3, because we loaded 3 items in our last request, and then the page will be 1. And then if I click over here, this should be page 2, offset 6, and this will be the same because I'm loading the my response is the same data every time. But in theory, this should be changed every time, right? So if I click over here, it's the same data, offset 6, page 2. This will be page 3, offset 9, page 3, offset 9, and then the same data. And the last one will be page 4, offset 12, and then this is the data that was loaded last. So to be honest, I don't know if you need this data when you're paginating, when you're working with your pagination, but for sure you need the page number, which will be 0, and you need the offset, because when you have the offset, you already know how many items you already loaded, and you actually I would do it like that. In my database, I would just say load the next, I don't know, like the next 3 items from 12 to 15. So in this example, I would say load all the items from 9 till 12, for example. And then I will have, and then the 12 will be my last offset. And then you can actually, this is the page. So if because this will load again, it's refreshing. I don't know why, but okay, let's refresh right now. And you get the 5 requests. We should get the 5 requests again, like the last time. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as you can see here, from 0, page 0 to page number 4. So I don't know why it's reloading again, but I just want to show you. I will not click out of this page. I don't know why it's reloading, but right now, okay, we will see the 5 requests over here. I will not click it over here. I already did it, so I'm not showing you. But when this loads, as right now, when you're scrolling, you can see that it's actually loading more. So this is the idea, right? To just load more, and this will be infinity, till infinity, right? Because I don't have a way to stop this. So this will load infinity. My data is the same, but it will load infinity. And if I go over here, you can see I reached, for example, the 75 offset, and the page is 25. So that was it. I hope that was helpful in any way. Make sure you like this video, of course, come on. And then we'll see you in the next one. So keep on requesting. If you want to see something in particular, you can comment. Well, what? I can't speak anymore to this video, and then yeah, I can make it happen. Thank you. Take care.